You probably think your brain just rests at night. Your body is still, your eyes are closed, your mind feels almost off. But that feeling is misleading, because while you sleep, something important may be happening inside your head. Not metaphorically, almost literally. At night, your brain doesn't shut down, it switches modes. Fluid starts moving differently inside it. Neuron activity changes too. Even the blood vessels behave differently. In other words, your brain may be doing nighttime maintenance on itself. And the strangest part is, you can interrupt it. We all hear the same phrase, sleep is important. But honestly, that phrase is way too weak. Sleep may do far more than just restore your energy. It may do more than just make you feel awake in the morning. Because there's a deeper question here. Your brain works all day without stopping. It burns a huge amount of energy. It constantly runs chemical reactions, and it keeps processing signals every second. It even rewires connections between cells. So if your brain works that hard, waste is inevitable. Because your brain isn't a dry processor, it's living tissue. Active, delicate, and incredibly sensitive, which means it can't just work, it also has to be maintained. So the real question is, how does the brain clean itself at all? In most tissues, the body uses the lymphatic system, but the brain is more complicated than that. That's why the idea of its own cleaning system became such a big deal. Scientists found that cerebrospinal fluid moves along blood vessels. It exchanges with fluid inside brain tissue, and it may help carry away dissolved waste. This idea is known as the glymphatic system. Put simply, your brain may have a hidden drainage mode, not like house pipes, like a living biological system. And that leads to the next question, when does this system work best? And this is where sleep becomes the main character, because your brain does not behave the same way in sleep as it does during the day. Even its electrical rhythms start to change. Blood vessels change their behavior too. Blood flow shifts as well. And cerebrospinal fluid starts moving differently. At night, the entire environment around neurons changes. During the day, your brain is busy with the outside world. But at night, it may switch to internal work. This is no longer about thinking, it's about maintaining the system. That's where the idea came from that your brain almost washes itself at night. That sounds almost too perfect. But the core idea comes from real science. During sleep, researchers have seen large waves of cerebrospinal fluid. Those waves are linked to slow brain activity, and they're linked to changes in blood flow too. So this is no longer just a metaphor, and here's the biggest wow moment in all of this. Sleep may not be just for rest. It may also help maintain the brain's internal environment. You use your brain all day as your main tool. And at night, that tool may be trying to restore itself. Not emotionally, physically. That's why bad sleep feels like more than simple tiredness. After a bad night, you don't just feel sleepy. You get brain fog. Your thoughts feel heavy. Your reactions slow down. It's like your brain is moving through something thick, and that fits the idea of interrupted nighttime recovery. And now comes the uncomfortable part. You don't only hurt this process when you skip sleep completely. Most of the time, you mess with it through normal habits, like sleeping too little, or getting broken, fragmented sleep, or going to bed at different times every night, or staring at a screen deep into the night, or flooding your system with caffeine too late. Add stress, light, noise, or alcohol on top of that. From the outside, it all looks normal, but for your brain, it may be a constant disruption of the nighttime program. And here's what really matters. The problem is not just how much you sleep, it's also about the quality of that sleep. A lot of people think, I was in bed for 7 hours, so I'm fine. But that's not always true. You can stay in bed for a long time and still never give your brain the right state. Because your brain doesn't just need time. It needs the right cycles and the right depth of sleep. That's why sometimes you sleep what seems like enough and still wake up feeling wrecked. Because the real issue isn't only how long you slept. It's what was happening inside your brain during that sleep. Now here's the honest part. Science hasn't fully closed this question yet. There's strong evidence supporting nighttime brain maintenance. There are studies showing fluid movement and slow brain activity linked together, but the full picture is more complicated than you sleep, your brain gets washed. Not all sleep is the same. Different models and experiments show different results. There's still a lot of debate here, but that doesn't make this idea weaker. It makes it more real. Real science is not a button you press and instantly understand. But we have already seen a very important mechanism. Now scientists are trying to figure out when it works best, and what helps it, and what breaks it. So what does all of this mean for you? When you cut your sleep short, when you break your rhythm, when you steal your own deep sleep, when you turn the night into an extension of the day, you may be doing more than just making yourself less alert. You may be interfering with work your brain cannot properly do during the day, and that is more serious than just feeling tired tomorrow, because your daytime brain depends on the condition of its inner environment. If your brain works for you during the day, then at night it may be working for itself. And if you keep breaking that cycle, you are interfering with the basic mechanics of recovery. That's why sleep is not an empty pause. It's not wasted time, and it's not some annoying break from real life. Sleep is one form of brain work. You just don't see that work happening. During the day, your brain helps you think. At night, it may be helping itself, so it doesn't drown in the consequences of its own activity while you lie there completely still. A complex invisible process may be happening inside your head. And without it, your clarity, memory, and thinking may all be worse. So when you turn your nights into a trash pile of light, stress, and constant notifications, you may be doing more than just getting less rest. You may be interrupting your brain's nighttime cleanup. And honestly, the strangest part isn't that your brain may almost wash itself at night. It's that we already know this, and we still keep getting in its way. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and stay healthy, friends.